Hi, this is Aditya. My song Unresolved will be out soon. It'll be released under my project Adfire. We've recently released the artwork for this song, and let me introduce you to the man behind the artwork. Hi, Spandan.
Hi.
Spandan, could you tell us a few things about you and your art?
Sure. To start with, you know that I do a lot of things, but most of these things are in the artistic arena. I write, I make films, but I think all of this has evolved from my original love, I think, which was painting. I think I must have been 5 when I made my first painting, and as I grew up, sort of became a language for me. It's been kind of difficult for me when I was growing up that I would express myself in words. So art kind of became that language that I could express myself through. Now I do commercial art for brands. I do fine art. I've exhibited with multiple galleries, and very recently one of my works which I did with a group was featured in Kala Ghoda. So yeah.
So when you talk about music as a language, for me, I've always been inspired by bands like Tool, Porcupine Tree, and these guys have had concept albums. For me, storytelling through a song has been one of the biggest driving factors as far as songwriting is concerned. When we talk about storytelling, I think when there are vocals involved, it's a relatively easier process. It's easier to kind of tell a story when there are vocals involved, but then telling a story through an instrumental is something that I've kind of tried to experiment with through this song. So when I introduced you to the song, I really want to know what inspired you to kind of do the artwork.
Yeah, interesting that you asked that actually. So when you actually sent me the song and I started listening to it, so it is not a very conventional song, right? It's not structured in a
chorus, pre-chorus.
Exactly.
It's not
so it's not. Yes. But there's a very natural progression to it, and for me, it was very similar to something like a background score of a life that is happening. If a life was a movie, then that was a background score. So for me, when I talk about it, I'm thinking of Inception, and it's different scenes and Hans Zimmer's music actually telling the story of what visually is happening. And for me, when I was listening to the song for the first time, I started imagining my own life, the phases I'm going through or I have gone through, and how parts of the song is making me think of it, and as if that is telling my story. And before I knew it, I think it had been 3 hours or more that I had been listening to it on loop. That's when I started thinking that, I should make some artwork regarding this, and somehow it got connected to the concept of the Vitruvian Man. Now, the Vitruvian Man is, if you look at it, there is a man's body which fits inside a square as well as a circle. Now, the whole idea is that the square is the physical world, and the circle is the emotional or the spiritual world. And human beings fit in both of them. Okay. With your music, with particularly Unresolved, I started realizing how this is such a good marriage. That emotional thing, but also how it is going through in a physical life. And that is what inspired me to use that as my basis for making that art for your music. The other thing is that I think how big a comic book nerd I am. So I was when listening to the song as well, it was feeling like there are panels going, like the story is happening. And so when I thought of making this artwork, I actually created 4 panels, or 4 artworks coming together to tell one story. So that was the idea behind it.
Awesome. That was pretty insightful, man. Thank you for such a lovely conversation. On that note, guys, the artwork is out. The song will be released soon. Watch this space for more updates. Cheers.